Get your house in order.
Do it today.
Get your house in order.
Do it right away.
Likely we're going to end up, if we end up in a war, a real shooting war with a major power, it's going to be as a consequence of a cyber breach of great consequence. And it's increasing exponentially, the capabilities. A massive cybersecurity breach against the U.S. companies, many of them, as well as federal agencies. And there's still so much we don't know, including the full scope of the breach or the extent of the damage it has caused. But we know this much. This attack constitutes a grave risk to our national security. It was carefully planned and carefully orchestrated. It was carried out by using sophisticated cyber tools. The attackers succeeded in catching the federal government off guard and unprepared. Foreign actors have been working this breach since late last year, at least last year, setting the landscape to compromise our systems, scraping up sensitive information from our world-class tech sector and from private businesses and from United States government agencies.
We've previously warned about the potential for Russia to conduct cyber attacks against the United States, including as a response to the unprecedented economic costs that the U.S. and allies and partners imposed in response to Russia's further invasion of Ukraine. Today, we are reiterating those warnings, and we're doing so based on evolving threat intelligence that the Russian government is exploring options for potential cyber attacks on critical infrastructure in the United States.
In late 2019, the World Economic Forum, or WEF, co-hosted a global pandemic simulation known as Event 201 with the Johns Hopkins and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. A few months later, an actual pandemic began. In mid-2020, the WEF co-hosted a global cyber attack simulation with Sberbank, Russia's largest bank. With Sberbank, Russia's largest bank. With Sberbank, Russia's largest bank. Given the aftermath of Event 201, this has led to speculation that a cyber attack is around the corner. First up, Cyber Polygon is an annual cybersecurity event hosted by Bizone, a cybersecurity subsidiary of Sberbank. The first Cyber Polygon event took place in 2019, and it included simulations for DDoS, web application, and ransomware attacks. Unfortunately, the footage of Cyber Polygon 2019 has been removed from YouTube. Fortunately, it's still possible to download a PDF summary of the event. The summary reveals that there were a limited number of participants, with the only notable one being IBM. The WEF was not yet involved. That said, the WEF's cybersecurity initiatives predate Cyber Polygon by more than a year. The WEF announced the Global Center for Cybersecurity at its annual Davos conference in January 2018. Note that we summarized the WEF's 2023 Davos conference, and that video will be down in the description. Now, at some point in 2019 or 2020, the WEF partnered with Sberbank to organize Cyber Polygon 2020. Not surprisingly, Cyber Polygon 2020 was much larger than the 2019 edition. Over 120 organizations from 29 countries were involved, and the online event had over 5 million viewers from 57 countries. The website for Cyber Polygon 2020 explains that many of these 120 organizations chose to remain anonymous, but it reveals that lots of big names were involved. Besides Deutsche Bank and Ernst & Young, ICANN is noted as being one of the key partners. ICANN provides global internet infrastructure. Now, whereas the focus of Cyber Polygon 2019 was DDoS, web application, and ransomware attacks, the focus of Cyber Polygon 2020 was a so-called digital pandemic. This digital pandemic would affect everything from financial infrastructure to healthcare and would have a global impact. Now, the full Cyber Polygon 2020 stream is still available on Bizone's YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to the full stream in the description, but I will caution that it's almost 5 hours long. I'll also leave a link to an article from Unlimited Hangout which provides a detailed background on some of the speakers. So, Cyber Polygon 2020 began with opening remarks from Sberbank CEO Herman Gref. Herman explained that the speakers will be discussing, quote, the next pressing issue after the pandemic, which is, of course, a global cyber attack. He revealed that Interpol is also a key partner of Cyber Polygon. Herman also revealed that WEF founder and chairman Klaus Schwab is personally involved with Cyber Polygon. For context, the WEF is an organization consisting of the world's most powerful individuals and institutions which come together each year to basically decide the future of the world without our input. More about the WEF in the description. Now, the first speaker was none other than Mikhail Mishustin, the Prime Minister of Russia, the second most powerful person in the country after President Vladimir Putin. Mikhail revealed that the post-pandemic recovery will focus on digitization, a process that was accelerated by pandemic restrictions. The second speaker was none other than Klaus. He revealed that he'd been working closely with Herman, who you'll hopefully recall is the CEO of Sberbank. Klaus also said that he was pleased to have recently met with Putin, a meeting which apparently took place in St. Petersburg in November 2019. On that note, Putin is a so-called young global leader of the WEF. Young global leaders tend to become leaders of countries. Although the WEF removed Putin's profile from its website after Russia invaded Ukraine, the association has led to speculation that the war is being used as a pretext for a cyber attack. In any case, Klaus went on to explain that they need a, quote, great reset to bring everything together, aka to centralize control. He said that all WEF stakeholders must be mobilized, that everything must be digitized, and that the cyber attack will make the pandemic look like a small disturbance by comparison. Once Klaus was done, the mic was handed to Alexander Tushkanov, the host of the event. Alexander explained that a cyber attack simulation will be taking place in real time at the Sberbank headquarters during the event, with Bizone employees being hackers and participants being the cyber defenders. Alexander then said that it's been, quote, many years since the Fourth Industrial Revolution was announced by the WEF. He said that the WEF's initiative has resulted in two groups, those who support it and those who oppose it. He asked whether trust or fear will be the motivator for future cooperation. If that wasn't crazy enough, Alexander went as far as to ask whether it will take another crisis to unite the world once the pandemic is over. If you watched our video about how to survive the Great Reset, you'll know that the WEF seems to be keen to create crises for this exact purpose, centralized control.
Get your house in order.
Do it today.
Get your house in order.
Do it right away.
For Jesus is coming.
No man knows where or when.
Get your house in order.
For he's coming back.
Let me tell you something. You know